Hi, my name is Rio Romeo. I'm 23. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist and musician based in Los Angeles. I've just been putting out music. I was doing everything on my own, and I had my first big success with Butch for Butch blowing up on TikTok. And now that's recently hit, I think it's at 20 million streams now, which is crazy.
I love that you brought up that TikTok thing. I mean, I love talking to people about what this platform means to them. And I feel like recently it's really kind of hit for artists to be able to find a community on there. So was it surprising for you to be able to just build an audience there and really communicate with the people that are a fan of your music?
It was actually so crazy to start getting a following on TikTok because I recorded and released my first album in 2018. And when I first started getting a following, I think I hit 100,000 followers before I even told anyone that I made music. I started using the platform not to promote my music, but just to like make videos and talk about being gay and stuff and finding community that way. And when I first started, posting like little silly videos of just me singing like stupid songs about like all the porn magazines I have and stuff that I wrote, they got a lot of traction and people were like, oh my God, you should record this. And I was like, oh my God, little did you know, I literally already have a full length album out. And yeah, so that was like super encouraging. And I never really got that kind of like positive reception of my work really before because I grew up in a very like DIY, like surfer, skater boy, backyard guitar music kind of space. And so there wasn't really much room for like me singing like soft little songs at a keyboard. It just didn't fit the vibe. And like my family didn't particularly like my music. So I never really had anybody like overtly say that they liked my music before. And that's the first time that I started hearing that on that platform. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like finally, like somebody thinks my stuff is cool. And so then I just started posting like basically everything that I would write on there, like way before I would even plan to record and release it. And it was just so much fun because people have so much to say and they'd be like, oh my God, you sound like this. This is what I think your genre should be called. They had a whole life plan for me. It was awesome.
So going off of that, I mean, you said you had already been writing music before you found this audience. Do you think that discovering them and being able to talk to someone about your style of music changed at all where you were going on your path in the industry?
Yeah, I think it did. Well, when I released that album, it was really a project for myself. Like, I think that prior to TikTok, I maybe had like probably less than a dozen people listen to it like ever, just because it was like something that I was closeted, and so I didn't tell my family about it because it was a super gay album, and like, I'm not going to force my friends to listen to my music. And so I think that I wasn't pursuing really like a career in the music industry prior to prior to TikTok. And I don't, that's not because I didn't want to do that. That's because I didn't think that that would ever be possible. I was working as a picture framer because that's like the only way that I could make money. I just literally would have never thought that I would be able to like make a living off of my music.
You want to put out music that has genderless meanings, genderless love stories in it, and just, really making music that anyone can relate to. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that and how you knew that that's what you wanted to do?
Sure. I think that writing genderless or like gender neutral music has really been so like empowering for me because I think that for so much of my life, I was really searching for music that was made for me. Just like listening to all of my favorite old jazz stuff, it's just like none of that has any real like relatability to me because it's this like, big dude and like small, frail little woman vibe that all of the music that like I really like has been going off. And I just think that like I personally would really love to be able to listen to more music that I could relate to. And I think that everybody likes to feel like a piece of art is made especially for them. And so, I either like try to keep it gender neutral or I'll do like overtly gay music, which is like, that's pretty easy for me as a lesbian. But yeah, writing gender neutral stuff has been super rewarding. And it really challenges me as a songwriter because you have to kind of like think outside the box because you can't just be like, oh, you're so pretty or whatever, like you have to grow your vocabulary and kind of challenge yourself a little bit to be able to make it inclusive for everybody.
And a lot of what you just said, I know, is lyrics in your latest single about descriptions of people and, trying to find those words. So can you tell us about your single?
Yeah. So Inarticulation, I wrote a really long time ago. I think I wrote it shortly after I wrote Butch for Butch. I think that was a song that I wrote right after Butch for Butch. And this was in November of 2020, I think. And here we are in September of 2022. And it was really one of the songs that I was like most proud of because one, it's my most technically complicated song on the piano, and I'm a completely self-taught pianist, and so being able to like write something that is challenging for me was like, it was so much fun. And then being able to like add in this message of just, it was really personally relating to my life of like, I love my partner and she is so gorgeous and she's also like so masculine. And I think that I really just wanted to convey that in a song of like, I don't think that there's any vocabulary that can accurately describe just like how much I adore you and how, in which way that is,
And I just wanted to ask, I mean, I love the song. I love the bluesy, jazzy vibes of it. If you were to hear it anywhere in like real life that really would mean something for you, where would you love to have it play?
I think the best thing would be like in somebody's car really loud, like just with one or two people like rocking the fuck out. I think that would be so dope because like you don't really I personally never enjoy music quite as much as when I'm like driving around and listening to music super loud. So like if I ever was like walking down the street and somebody had it blaring in their car, that'd be so flattering.
And then just finish it off, I mean, you have your new EP, Good God, coming out in 2 days. So just tell us all about that, what's on it and what people can expect from it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this EP, it's 5 tracks and it kind of details like love and loss of queer relationships. And this is also like a completely gender neutral EP. Like you don't really have very much gendered language. I think I don't use any gendered pronouns in there at all, which it was like I didn't actually do that on purpose. It's just like I put together these pieces of work that fit with each other and they kind of just like clicked that way. And it made for like a comprehensive storyline. And so, yeah, it's very near and dear to my heart. It's some old music. Like I have a new cover of a song that I released on my first album in 2018 called Twice. And that one's a lot of fun because my voice is so much lower and I know how to play the piano so much better and I can sing so much better now. And it just kind of like gave that song new life. And then with the newer stuff, I have a track called Nothing's New. And that was something that I wrote about like a past relationship that I had been in where you just kind of like fall into like repetitive patterns. And it's very hard to overcome that when you've been in like a long-term relationship and be able to like feel that initial rush of like being together. And it's just, yeah, that song I think is one of the most powerful and one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. And I think that another thing that makes this EP so special is that I worked with like a really good producer. And so on this project, I actually have like full percussion and bass and like all kinds of fun elements that I don't necessarily have the skill set to add myself, but I did have someone amazing that I was working with. And so it sounds quite different just technically than the rest of my work because I could, enlist some help beyond myself because everything before this was basically done like with me and a couple of friends.
Well, great. Thank you so much for stopping by and chatting, and congratulations on all the new music and everything going on.
Of course. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.